Hello, people. Hi. Grandpa's live on TikTok. I. Oh, yeah, so the chat comes here. That's easy. Hello, people. Yeah, I always feel like when I'm on here, but that's fine. It's nice to see you, nevertheless. Yeah, yeah, I guess we'll let some people pop in or whatever. How are you guys doing? I am inside one of my Instagram posts. You see, that's the wall. Yeah, that's art. That's art, people. Thank you. I'm fine. Um, yeah. Um, Going loud feels so organic and natural. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know where to start. I get self-conscious of that I got this red area here, but it's badass why I got it. I guess I was doing chin-ups at the gym. I will not tell you how few chin-ups I did, but while doing them, I did one so hard that I smashed my chin into the chin-up bar. So that's cool. Um, yeah. So I guess it was. Who do I want? What? I guess I'll start answering some questions. Jackson Stewart. Yes, you should take your boyfriend to our show. Of course you should, because I want to sell more tickets, and also I think it's a good show that your boyfriend should enjoy. And if not, if he's skeptical, I'll gladly convert him. Are we coming to Tennessee? AvatarMetal.com for to answer all your questions regarding on when and where we tour. I don't remember which stuff we're gonna do now and which stuff we're gonna do later. That is still secret, but the tour is up there. What I do know is that we will be when we play in LA on May 4th. That will be streamed live through something called Veep. You can tell that it's a company, a thing that is created in 21st century with that name. That's not something that's gone through generations since 1921. VEEP. And find that. And on May 4th, if you're not in LA but still want to watch the LA show, you can somehow. I won't do that because I'll actually be there, busy playing. I still don't understand Febby 17's questions. Who do you want? I want my dog. He's at home. I'll see him soon. Hello from Paris. Hello back to Paris. Yes. Do I speak Spanish? No habla español. Perdona. Very limited. I know words. When will we play in Poland? We were just in Warsaw. Had an amazing time. And last year we were in Krakow with Sabaton and also had an amazing time. And on this Dance Devil Dance album cycle, as it's called in the biz, we we really want to make a point of, because we usually end up doing like two European legs of headline touring, like 2 months in total. This time around, we're gonna make it to a third. And one thing that is on that list that we are, throwing in the face of the grown-ups who help us book shows is more Polish shows outside of the capital, because it was awesome. Warsaw was sold out, for instance. So when exactly, I don't really know. We are moving around some pieces right now, but we will tour this album for like the coming year will be about doing shows wherever we can, as much as we can, within reason. Fun fact: we tend to only tour 1 month at a time because we all want our spouses to remember our faces. So we will tour a lot and have a little break in betweens. Yeah, we'll scroll down to more questions. Why am I so beautiful? Because you are drunk. Um, am I excited to play Blue Ridge in September? Yes. I'm excited about all the shows because I think our shameless plug coming in 3, 2, 1. I think we're doing the best shows that we have ever done in our career right now. Everything feels really in place. I love the set list. I mean, set lists are always subject to, can always be changed. But this time we haven't feel the urge to do so for an entire tour. I think we really are nailing it. I love it. Will we ever come to Alaska? I sure hope so. It is nothing you kind of do, It doesn't come easy, I guess, to play in Alaska for a band like us, but I would absolutely love so. This seems like one of the most stunning places in the United States of America one could visit. I would love to do that. My favorite part of touring is, I should say who asked these questions. Max Sandon asked about Alaska. Z-O asked about my favorite part of touring. Well, the shows. Simple as that. What was that side scroll thing? Oh, I see the chat more clearly. That is learning. The shows. The shows. And maybe that's a given answer. Like aside from that, and nowadays I'm trying to make more of a point than ever out of using the day offs to do things, to see things, to not just spend them in a hotel bed or just binge eat and lie very still. So I like the little day offs adventures I force myself to have a lot. And I like it's a very structured life most of the touring while doing a lot of cool things. And I love it. I feel at peace on the road. What are my thoughts on dad jokes? Well, I'm from Gothenburg, and those kind of pun jokes is a question of huge pride for people from the west coast of Sweden. Our own take on those kind of puns is called Gothenburg jokes in Swedish. And no one else can really stand it, but we kind of love it. And, important buildings are renamed they don't really translate well, but dad jokes are very important to me. Thank you for the question, Jess. Yes, I look forward to Chicago. Mexico dates, Red Simmons working on it. We should totally play more in Mexico. Yes, Bangshan's wife. I see people sending things. Let me say right away, because I think you pay to send me flowers or whatever. There's things you can send. Don't use that money for for yourself. Buy yourself something pretty, or charity. You want to make me happy by spending money on something on the side. Help animals, or some good LGBT cause, or children in war zones, or important things. Yes. Will we ever release more vinyls of Feathers and Flesh? It's currently not in our hands to do that. We do not own the masters. When are you coming to Italy? As Marti. Tesoro, aspetta. No, we are very much working on that too. Italy is... I'm biased due to family ties to want to play way more Italy than we have recently. And we are working on that. It will happen. Especially now, it should be easier than ever, because from what I'm being told from my mother-in-law and father-in-law, our stuff is played on the radio. So, have a Charlie Choco Blonde wonders if I think to include a lore to Avatar. I feel like Avatar is full of lore, because we have done things like Feathers and Flesh and Avatar Country. And then just the history of the band and the weird turns we take with the music videos and stuff. And usually the lore and the theories that people come up with to connect things that you guys come up with is better than whatever we could come up with. So I keep it at that. It's like being, I remember watching the third season of Twin Peaks and being loving every second of it. Best thing on television since ever. At the time, but also not really understanding much, and then going on forums and Reddit and whatever and understanding even less, but loving it. Kim, do we have any plans to come to Asia during the Dance Devil Dance era? Ambitions rather than plans. People, someone has to pick up the phone on the other end, but we do indeed want to come to all over Asia that we could possibly play. Due to the history of how Scandinavian metal has been, where has been positioned in the world through the years, we oh, Japan has always been high on the list, and I think we are the only Swedish band that hasn't played Japan. That being said, I think South Korea, is people are making noise from there for our sake as well. Have I been to Switzerland? Wir waren in Zürich eine Monat her. We were in Switzerland just towards the end of this tour, and we've been to Pratteln and played, and we've been probably elsewhere that I don't remember, festivals and stuff. Love Switzerland. Ich liebe Schweiz. I don't know how to say it in French. Hello, friends. I'm scrolling down to find more questions, and I'm speaking fast to get to as many as possible. And if someone is recording this, you can slow it down afterwards. I'm the Micro Machines commercial guy. Coming to Canada anytime soon. Not on this tour, but on future tours for sure. July last year, Canada was standout memories of that entire North America tour. Pretty much all of it was amazing. So of course we want to go. When Vancouver? Well, July last year. But we're working on coming back. Vancouver's nice. Plans for next album? No plans, but we always write. As a matter of fact, Tim lent me a guitar he didn't need to use because my guitar is crappy. So I'm sitting in a rehearsal room, fiddling and diddling. Well, my main purpose here today is to kind of kick myself back into shape a bit for the US States. But, I've been riffing a bit. It's not very good yet, but, it's a journey. What else? What I think about the return of Panther? I presume that's a typo for Pantera. I think it's great. I just would have liked it to be called something else. But those people playing Pantera songs together, it's awesome. Did I already answer the Blue Ridge thing? The answer is yes. Looking forward to it. Scrolling down. What questions? We are working on all. When we will play at places. When it's announced, it's announced. I'm sorry, it's a boring answer. What guitar is that? It's Tim's guitar. It's an Ibanez. I can read. It's an RG of some sort. RG something. RG370AHNC1P01. I don't know. Does that tell anything to you? But it's an Ibanez RG. Tim had it laying around, and it was kind of a bit beat up, and our guitar tech Spoon helped beat it back into shape, and so I'm borrowing it to have something that feels like an avatar guitar when writing songs more than what I've been using to this point. Singing. Are the Feathers Flesh Fable books sold out? Then we should do a new print at some point. Thank you. Lots of compliments. When are you coming to North Norrland? Ask Digsta. Me and John keep talking about very often when we're together about doing a proper Swedish tour. Really leaning in heavy to it. I mean, one of the first things we got to do that was a bit high profile back way back in the day was opening for In Flames in Norway and Sweden, and then we got as far north as Umeå. We have been as far north as Kiruna for Kiruna Festivalen many years ago now, but I want to trick through Sweden for very selfish reasons. I just, we get to be to so many countries and taste it a bit, and I feel Sweden is a big country, but my personal Sweden feels pretty small. It's what's along E20, one of the highways between Stockholm and Gothenburg. Stockholm and Gothenburg should be that. I don't know from which flip you see me. And I want to fix that, and I want to go to all kinds of hembygdsmuseer that I can find. Fiction, you ask any tips for beginner metal vocalists? Anything, this applies to anything anyone ever wants to do. It's all about putting the time in, isn't it? And practice. And And when it comes to your voice and what you're supposed to do with it, it's such a surge as an instrument. I feel is such a explorative instrument. You know, it's not so much because it's so individual that when you pick up a guitar, you can kind of check some tablature and figure out how to play Paranoid and learn how to palm mute or something. And that part is in reality not that different when you sing, but it feels very different. All the things that your guitar playing friends do in terms of practicing applies to you too. Sing scales, start things slow and speed it up, and you can everything about singing that you can find on YouTube or whatever, people just showing warm-ups and basic techniques, all that applies to anything you do stylistically. Like a jazz teacher can also teach you a lot of bit of things about using and getting to know your voice that you can then apply when you explore how to be a metal singer and whatnot. So put the time in, explore, and the more you do, the more you have a foundation to be able to do what you want, I guess, and learn to accept that very much with for a singer, you are stuck with being who you are and the thing you have. You can improve a lot, you can practice a lot, you can get a lot better. You cannot run away from your DNA, so kind of embrace that, I guess. But it's all about practicing. If I could tour with one band, who would it be? My big bucket list item at this point that comes to mind first is Judas Priest. And there are a lot I could say, but Judas Priest just it would mean the world to me. I've done a lot of we had the opportunity to do we played with Iron Maiden, and many years ago we toured with Halloween. That was the reason I got into metal to begin with, and in between those we've done so much with so many, and it's been great. We toured with Devin Townsend, which of course he has meant the world to me as a fan, and we were on the road together for a month, and it was great, if you ask me. So I had the chance to do a lot of those awesome pinch yourself in the arm kind of thing. But I would love to add Judas Priest to that list. I like a whole lot of Ghosts music, Asher. And play with them? Absolutely. Why not? Scrolling to find more questions. I think we have announced all festivals. I'm not sure. Steph was asking about that. Gonna have a lot of July off if nothing drastic happens. If I could meet anyone in the world, who would it be? I don't know. I don't know if current living famous person. No clue. I mean, I would. There are a bunch of dead grandparents I would love to meet again. As an adult and get to know them from that perspective. Especially. Time flies. A couple of years ago, but we did some shows in the States that feels, that feels recent to me, but maybe it's not. So could absolutely do more of that. Ryan, 69. Would you come to the Philippines? Of course we would. I would love that. My favorite DC character, Lola, is indeed probably the Joker, but I'm also headed up to here with anything about superheroes right now. Me and Tim, when Tim was pretty new in the band still, we went to see the first Marvel film. Marvel film? No, not Marvel. What was it called? The Avengers. And I got there, I think I got everything out of my system in terms of just, it's a Hulk and it's him and the fight is good, and got that kick. And now I feel like we need to do something else with cinema than that. I'm incredibly bored with it. Um, but yeah, and same. Also, as far as the Arkham Batman video games, I think kind of nail a lot of DC Batman stuff for me. Like I don't know, I don't. There was nothing wrong with that Robert Pattinson one now, and I did watch it, but it's just I don't know. I'm done. Why are we not coming to Canada? Who says we're not coming to Canada? We're just not coming to Canada right now, Annabelle Lamar. Um, you take care of our luggages. Thank you. We'll make sure to not travel with Air Canada. We should be fine. Uh, Oops, now we scroll fast. Maybe I missed something. How did I start with music? First thing I played was being put in front of piano, getting piano lessons when I was 5. I'm not good as someone who started piano when he was 5. But it's always been, since so early in my life, I was kind of into it and drawn to it. So it's just been, in hindsight, a very natural evolution towards all of this. I pressed something, or did someone else press something? I don't know. I looked like Tim for a moment. Dan Drum 1. Will we arrive to Ukraine after the war? Yes, absolutely. It's really, really, really sad to me that we were supposed to play a festival in Ukraine, maybe 2 years before the war happened, and I screwed up losing my passport at the Helsinki airport, discovering it in Riga. So I couldn't make it. And then we simply couldn't make it to that show. And it breaks my heart now more than ever with everything that happened. But independently of war or anything, it just pisses me off that we were so close to get there and couldn't. And now we will probably have to wait for a while, as short as possible, I hope. But it's also, the thing of, selfishly, I want to go there. I want to stand on a stage just to be able to look at you, people of Ukraine, to see what I mean. I don't want to make any light out of the suffering and how awful everything about it is. But once everything is said and done, to see what that kind of fighting spirit and will to survive and determination and so many reasons to be angry and hurt and despaired, but also proud over what you're doing. You are on the right side, the righteous side of history in this. And those are some eyes I would be honored to look into and play a couple of songs. What's my favorite video game? Growing up and back in the day, I did love Chrono Trigger. If I switch to computers, Fallout 2 stands out as an all-time favorite. I always liked StarCraft, of course. That's referenced in 2 Avatar songs, nerd alert. Right now, I'm still trying to finish Hollow Knight. The one I sunk the most hours into over the years is probably Skyrim. When times is tough, that's a world I like to escape to. And I did fire up the game again now 2 years ago when it was became like a 10-year anniversary of release. I started playing it again, and now I feel I'm probably done forever at this point, but it was good. Is the Avatar Dance Devil Dance logo reference to Planet of the Apes? It's similar to the sign that they draw, says Vivi. I didn't think of that. Funny, though. But I mean, round things with some starry things, with some eyes and mouth things, could probably remind a lot of people of a lot of things. Where is the last band, Johannes? I don't know if they're playing anymore. I don't believe Gothenburg, so I think a lot of those members do other things now. Alex, who was in that band? I wish I remember his like black metal-ish thing, because it's really good. Especially one riff that we kind of obsessed with, and from time to time I forget about that riff. Hear Tim and Jonas play it during sound checks and go, that's great. Oh no, that's the one that was already written, right? That's so good. I don't know. That's not hard. Favorite horror movie? Hold on a second. I was covering the mic. See, I got this entire team supporting me. I guess you hear me better now. I switched grips again. Favorite horror movie? Maybe of all time, if I think about what it meant when I saw it for the first time and stuff. Um, The Shining, maybe. Um, yeah, let's find more questions. I feel like I'm scrolling down and see some questions again. Opinions on Ghost. Any Ghost? I don't believe in them. But the band is fine. How do I meet you guys after the show? Been trying for 6 years now. We bump into people by the bus depending on when it's parked, and we do stop and say hello briefly before going and crash and all that when we can. We don't do meet and greets so often. You know, sometimes there's things on a festival and stuff. Um, we might do more of that when we figure out a way that feels fair and stuff. But yeah, you know, like some people meet us. We are not hiding from you, Jackson. I promise you that. Are we adding on the beach to the set list? Probably not at this time, but there's a lot of new album things that we will play at some point, even if we do not do it now. Do I like Rammstein as Gato or Gato? Yes, a lot. Um, Most of the band does. Yeah, for years, you know. I was just now when the Deutschland video came the other year, make me cry for how good it is, especially in video form. Yeah, really like Rammstein and have for decades. Most difficult song to sing live. Many times it depends on, ask Amber Akula, I keep forgetting to say names. Most difficult song to sing live depends on the structure of the set list at some time, because it's a bit about recovery and, you know, ebbs and flows and stuff. Um, I don't think anything will be as hard as it was to open with Statue of the King. You know, going hard with those high notes and just wanting to nail that right away, and then it's just a cardiac exercise. It's easier to sing it where it is on a set list, where it was on a set list in Europe now. So it varies. Dance Devil Dance, the song, is intense. There's no individual part in it that's the trickiest thing I've ever done. But you stay on it on a certain level, you know, and you have to push, and it doesn't really ease up for a long time in the structure. So that took a long time to get, you know, to some level of stamina. And it's weird, like going for those 10K runs or interval training and stuff, no matter what shape you're in, to be in stage shape is its own little beast. So you have to kind of get into it on stage. Do I know what time I'll be playing at Download? Well, somebody knows. I don't. Too early, I think. Not as early as we have in the past, but, you know, I think the sun will be up. What about a collab with Tobias Forge as Steph? Okay, we're back on the ghost stuff again. What would we do together? I mean, he's writing his stuff and I write my stuff with my boys, and we, you know, I don't think so much about collabs. When we did now with Lizzie, it came from such a genuine place of starting with the song and what the song needed and stuff. So that came very organically. But the other way around, to start thinking about Lizzie first and then, because of that, write Violence No Matter What or something, is simply not how we structure things. So I'm never thinking about collaborating with Tobias or anyone else for that matter, but that doesn't mean I don't want to do it. It just have to be sitting with a piece of something and thinking this song or this thing would benefit so much if we did it in a certain way, and therefore we will try to reach out, you know. I will not. Are any of y'all Swifties? I don't think so. Not really. I guess I'm the closest, but no. But tremendous respect for her, and I think everyone, many artists, many of us are, so a bit of proxy Swifties, secondary Swifties, simply by the fact that that she made a lot of waves in the on the music business end of things. Taking up fights for, I mean, it's a completely different level of just commercial, what she's doing compared to what we do, so the different magnitudes. But she's a person who, you know, she owns and runs her things, and and so do we, but in our own little murky puddle of, in the metal scene. But the way she does it, the way she fights powerful entities and battles for, she's on the side of the artists, I think, and tremendous respect for her for that. Heard your Metal for Life. Heard your bandmates they don't speak English. Is that true? You heard it from me, and for that I can confirm it's not true. You can find some, what's called Gear Gods or Gear Geeks, something about gear, and you can see Jonas and Tim speak English there, for instance. No, they speak English. Lola Bell loves my makeup. I'm not wearing any. Emily, Sophie, do I like Billie Eilish music? Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish talked about. We're on TikTok! I do. I haven't listened that much, but I do. Absolutely. Amanda asks, why did we choose Wisconsin for the movie screening? Yeah, the band Avatar makes a killer album. Well, we want to do it in multiple places. Wisconsin was one where the opportunity was given, but also Wisconsin, as far as being particularly good to Avatar in the United States, Wisconsin is truly one of the OGs. So it feels suitable. I know, I don't remember learning much about Wisconsin and cities in Wisconsin, Madison and stuff, in school as a kid, when you got to geography and learn, Seinfeld was in New York, and, the Animaniacs were in LA, and so on. And the Bulls were in Chicago, 90s Bulls. So, but in my world now, when it comes to the US, Madison means a whole lot. Wisconsin's great to us, so I mean, why not? What country do I want to travel to the most? Asked Aussie Panda. Personally, Japan has been a lifelong thing. I got fascinated by Japanese things I saw on TV and stuff, even before I learned about anime and that whole scene. For just all kinds of reasons. I wanna be Scarlett Johansson and walk around confused in Tokyo, like in Lost in Translation. My favorite song to perform, Niobe, I don't know. I like them all, and I like when we get to change things around a bit. Bianca Honda, we can't play our full 2-hour show that we do when we headline on Sweden Rock Festival. No, simply can't. Scarlett, what is my favorite Type O Negative song? There are many. Now, because we played on that Shiprock cruise and the stowaway, there's a thing called on the cruise Shiprocked. There's a floating festivals as cruises are nowadays. We were there, and there's a thing called Stowaways, which is this rotating cover band show thing with artists from different groups that go up and play covers together. Me and a couple of other people got to do that with parts of Type O Negative, and we did Black Number One, and I can't believe that I had the honor and opportunity to do that. But that turns, of course, Black Number One is the song I sang when I was in Type O Negative for 5 minutes. Has to be my favorite now forever and ever. If I pick one album, it is October Rust, rather, probably, but I love it all. Fer Galan, do I hate any music genre? No, but I don't always enjoy what is being done with a genre within a genre. I have the most passionate feelings about what I like and dislike in metal, because metal is the thing I care about the most and I'm the most invested in. So if there's a genre I can hate, it's not, or music that I can't hate within a genre, it's metal, because I love metal so much. Asked if I like rats. I love rats. I like all animals. Hello, Yorumi. Um, this is just Heart as a name. I don't know if you will see us at Wacken next year. I sure hope so. It's about time. It's been a while. Um, Opinions on the Midsummer movie. I thought it was funny to, in the world of this always constant discussion of what is cultural appropriation. And there's a serious discussion we can have there. I guess there has to be something oppressive about it for it to even be that. And in this case, it wasn't. But I pretended that it was cultural appropriation and thought it was funny to watch it from that perspective. It was fine. It's I remember parts of it still, so that says something. And it was funny just to see, when seeing that, how they, twist and turn little, traditions or things to make it work in a horror movie and a cinematic context. I realized that every time I watch something that has been talking about something Catholic or Asian, any country or whatever, all those mistakes that they made about the Swedish things is done with everyone else, of course, which is obvious in hindsight, but it was a funny thought at the time. The one metal band that had the most influence on me personally must be Black Sabbath. But there are many, many, many honorable mentions to that list. Everything from Halloween to Strapping Young Lad, The Haunted. There's just so many. But it boils down to Black Sabbath, because I still revisit, listen to them. I always come back to them. But more than that, just revisit when I think about what to do with songs or what the goals are with Avatar. It's all about the riffs, man. And then when you have the riff, sometimes it's gotta be Paranoid and be 2 minutes long of just a, catchy little diddle, and sometimes it has to be, I don't know, Megalomania. You just have to go where the music tells you to go, and dare to be as easy or tricky, progressive or straightforward as you feel the need to be at any time, and just trust the riffs. Rick Sprit, I don't know. You ask about Australia tour soon. We're coming to Australia. We're coming to Australia in August. It's been announced, Rich. Get with the program. Yes, for the first time ever, Avatar are playing Australia in August. I can't wait. The dates are out there, up there. AvatarMetal.com is always the easiest. Because I don't just social things. I never find anything on social media. I barely find myself on TikTok. Sweden is not very cold most of the time. Neither is Finland, but it's colder than a lot of other places. How did I come up with the name for Chimp Mosh Pit? Well, I named it Chimp. And then Jay and the other guys didn't love that. Then just Chimp Mosh Pit is one of the lines from the song, so just extend it to be a bit more descriptive. Hair routine. When I'm home, I shower after I work out, and then I wash my hair, and I use conditioner. And now I use that Garnier hair food, blah blah blah, banana thing for that. The sauna is being renovated at the gym, but when it's there, I do a little, and I can use no more conditioner for it, if need be, if I don't have anything fancier, but you really don't need to. So, work out, ice cold shower, short one, to the sauna, get warm. Slightly longer shower, wash ice cold, wash the hair, do the thing, and put conditioner everywhere. Back into the sauna for the long trek, and afterwards, long cold shower. I miss that sauna. And on tour, olive oil for stage, which means I got a little hair treatment going about every day of the week. So it's always very soft when I wake up in the morning. And then I go, oh, when I realize I have to ruin it again. När spelar vi i Sverige igen, undrar Sara Erika. We play in Sweden. It's on a list of things we're going to do, and it's going to be either late 2023 or early-ish 2024. Depends. There are a couple of moving pieces for that. Will the band split when one of us get bald? No. But if it's me, it's always scary. See, I need to dye the hair before we hit the road, right? And the first place to see it is here in the back always. And then I see pictures on stage and go, but you know, bald clown, shaved head clown, could work if that day ever comes. But the thing is, in my family, dad has all his hair, and my brother started to lose his way earlier than the age we are now. So I think I made it, made it across the river. I should be fine. When will the movie be available to watch? Don't know. Working on that, different ideas for it. But right now still there's some exclusivity to it, which is fun. Who does Molly belong to? Molly belongs to all of us in the world who knows her and love her, but it's John's dog. Can I tell my techniques to write songs? Okay, so we're gonna talk for an hour. Where do we even start? I don't know if I can. There are a lot of things going on, it's a little bit of everything, I think, One part is to try to remember to record the little ideas as you get them, 2 seconds of a riff or one line somewhere, seeing something on town and write down the line, a slipper and a shoe. And then you can use that for Train like 6 months later when you piece together those lyrics. So you get one though, you collect things. That's part of it. To just when I'm really in a writing mode, I feel myself way more receptive to impressions of the world around, inner world and outside world. And then it's all about trying to get some structure to that. Meaning, it starts with guitar 99% of the time. Sometimes I come up with things on the piano first. Rarely it's vocal first. I come up with drum beats. But those drum beats rarely lead to that. Then I write a song, but you have them in a little bag next to you, and like, this beat I thought of could work for this riff I now came up with. So kind of the riffs lead the way, and then once you're kind of in that mode, you just write and write and write. I guess on a song like, this is an idea, so let's try and take this as far. And at some point, it feels like crap. Why does it feel like crap? Because that means you would rather have it in some other way. What is that other way, And then you do that instead. Ask yourself hard questions. How hard was it to film Avatar: A Metal Odyssey? It was very, very hard. A lot of work for everyone. Very little sleep, very self-made, intense learning experience, painful. And got sick, but it was a great time, and it was tough. Favorite food? I don't have a favorite food. I like a lot of different foods, and I thought Hereditary was a great film. Hey, routine, I've answered. I often say that the people are half the show. Yeah, because I mean it. What makes a good audience, in your opinion? At the end of the day, if people are having a good time, that's a good time for us. And people express that differently. What I will say is that knowing full well that there are extroverted Swedes and introverted Spaniards, for instance, still generally in the culture, I feel when we play in a place such as Spain, this goes for a lot of places. I could list a lot of countries for this, but using Spain as an example now about one. When people in the audience tend to be particularly vocal and expressive with what they're into and stuff, A lot of sing-alongs that you don't ask for. A lot of movement before you ask them to open up that pit and stuff like that. So I mean, they already, and that is very, I guess I would put it, they are very generous with their energy. And when people are that, when people are, and that can happen a bit anywhere in the world, really, if we do, especially if we do our job right. But I guess that's the whole point of what is also a good performance for us. We try to be generous with our energy, and when the audience is already starting out being that generous, that gives us a boost, and it's a give and take. But everyone is entitled to enjoy the show in whichever way they want. How easy was it for me to get into my stage persona? I don't feel like it's a persona. I realize I don't act the same sitting talking here now, but I just feel it's yet another aspect of myself. So it's always there, and it feels very natural. But I also now have been a lot in my life. I've been in this band longer than I haven't. So to remember or figure out exactly what came natural, what has grown over time, what was always there, it's hard to answer, but easy is a short answer. Why is our band called Avatar? Because John learned the word from religion class in 8th grade, I think it was. So it's from Hinduism and the idea of a manifestation of a god on earth. Um, uh, yeah, it came from there, and he thought it was a cool idea that we are like gods in disguise, kind of thing. Then it stuck around the name. A name ends up being just a name after a while still being everything. But I like the idea of hidden potential that comes with it, and unleashing that, and being something greater than what meets the eye. Do I prefer performing stadiums/festivals or small clubs? I like both. I like both. I really do. Um, I think it's two different jobs, and it's honestly you realize after a while the big shows can feel great because they're so big, right? And but it's how do I say it? But it's a different craft to do really big shows. Because the job you practice a lot to play small shows first, obviously, and the job there, to me, in my mind, is to make a small show feel big, and you get better at that, and it's relatively easy at this point, or comes natural. But when it's really big, the challenge is to make that feel small. If you go and see Iron Maiden, everyone has a memory of Bruce Dickinson. He looked at me. Everyone says that, and that's impossible. But he's able to make us feel like that. Favorite Orbit Culture song? Now I have to think here. I listen to them a lot at the gym. And, well, North Star of Ninja, that's also very popular. It is also very good. The whole Ninja album, I thought was great. Red Fog too. Like I'm digging into them more and more now that we're gonna tour together, and after having seen them opening for In Flames here in Helsinki, blew me away. I'm very excited about going with them. Yeah, speaking of that, I'm very passionate about metal and how much of modern metal that bands make bad choices a lot of time. Not Orbit Culture, they're nailing it. Love it. And we're gonna press there and scroll down. So yeah, we're gonna do this for another 12 minutes. Will we ever come to Romania? Yes. You are a god on earth. Thank you. We're all gods on earth. That's the point. Gods are invented, and we can invent ourselves. Favorite superhero? The professional wrestler Sting when I was a kid. I'm tired of comic book superheroes now. We are working overtime. Can I say that? Wow, glitchy. Is it all the same? Wow, the questions have kept going. How do we find and choose the bands you tour with? We that's a whole complicated thing of, rarely it's like, oh, we love that band, check with them, and they say yes. That's rare that it works out like that. We try. Once a tour is announced and stuff, or once the tour is being booked, our booking agent is kind of checking with colleagues and sending out those emails and ask for submissions, and people submit themselves to the tour, and we kind of choose from a list and go through what options we have. My German is amazing. My German is okay. Could be better. How old were we when Avatar first began? Jonas and John met when they were 14, 15 years old. I had turned 16 when I joined the band. Come to Italy this year. Yes, if not this year, next year. Working on that. Lagam asks, are Robbie and Bobby the same person? No, they're two different persons. But I do realize at the end of the song that I thought I was smarter than Robbie asking Bobby, and Bobby then Robbie says, and blah blah, I'm a cannibal now. And I've seen that people have been discussing the meaning of that in the end. The truth is I messed up. I thought I got it wrong. So the wrong person answers the question at the end. Now I don't even remember what order it is. But it's supposed to be two people talking to each other and explaining their thing. But I screwed up, which I love. I love that I screwed up like that. And that is out there. Natural hair color, you can see it here in the growth. It's blonde still. Someone found a white hair, and someone got buried in the desert for it. Guilty pleasure song. Hey, funny fact, I have a podcast called Metal Break with my wife Paki, and the next episode is all about that. It's going to be up like Sunday. How do I feel about this show, Metalocalypse? We've been called the real life Metalocalypse more than once, and I like that. I never watched it through really from beginning to end, but I liked everything I saw. When we write songs, I think of them as tracks on an album or performances in a show. Both. Everything all at once. It has to work in every aspect of it. But I mean, the goal is more than the album. I think stage a bit more. But that being said, I'm thinking more album now than ever before, because I like being in the studio more and more every time we do it. Meritz asks if I like K-pop. I don't really listen to K-pop. Sorry. Yes, Paula, I like comedy movies. Bianca, yes, I like 80s hard rock. I don't even know where to begin with that. There's a lot of hard rock from the 80s I like. I don't like glam stuff very much at all, with very few exceptions, if that's what you're referring to. But there's a lot of good stuff from the 80s. Bathory, does that count? I started listening to 72 Seasons at the gym the other day, but I also realized I prefer to listen to audiobooks at the gym. But I will dig into it properly. You have to, don't you? My favorite anime character? Totoro. Scrolling, see any good questions. A lot of superhero questions. We don't like superheroes, told you. Magda, I really like Mayhem, yes. I do. Parasite, I haven't seen Parasite, Rana. There's a lot of movies as of the last few years that I'm out of date with. I used to work in a video store, and then I was on top of everything. Well, Lucy, happy birthday in advance for 2nd of July then. Will we ever play Blood again? I'm sure we will. Sure we will. We always return to songs sooner or later. What audiobook am I currently listening to? I just finished Slaughterhouse 5. Which was great. And well, right now, then what was next on my list was the Communist Manifesto. But I'm also waiting through that audiobook. They contextualize it for like 70% of that audiobook is, the history of it, and written from a very neocon perspective, how wrong they were. I'm not picking any sides here. I'm just reading it. Just well, I can go as far as say I'm probably not a communist, but I still think it's one of those things you should maybe have read. Audiobooks count. Current favorite book? Well, otherwise, current. I did think Slaughterhouse 5 was amazing and important, and I'm glad I finally got around to hear it. but then I'm not so current. Sally, if I like the band Tribulation, I love Tribulation. I love Tribulation. There was like this warm blanket all over me through COVID. Was one of these bands I listened to the most then. Dark Michu, I would love to come to Latin America. In general, absolutely. We're working on it. Those things, it's hard to get booked in the beginning. Vincent van Dog is home. He's not in the rehearsal with me. He hates guitars. He likes the piano. He sits in my lap when I play. Gets distracting, but that's like that. Do I still watch wrestling, Jesse? No, not really. I listen to podcasts about wrestling and sometimes watch old things. They insult my intelligence by pretending that it's fake. They're supposed to pretend that it's real. I do not watch any British soap operas, no, Brandon. Yes, I've heard about Georgia, the country. Yes. I do like Primus. Video games, I guess I already said it. I'm trying to finish Hollow Knight. I'm not good at video games, so each one game lasts me forever. Good day to Australia. We'll see you in August. Five Finger Death Punch were very good to us always, and I will always be grateful for all the opportunities they're given to play with them and expose us to a bigger audience. John is fine, as far as I know. Not good Wi-Fi out in the cabin, so he's probably doing great. Can we get to something here? New trading cards? Well, maybe that should be time soon. Huh. Come on, give me something more. My favorite musical, Sally. Again, Sally, you have good questions, I guess. This was an important one, can you tell? Maybe now it actually is Jesus Christ Superstar. I guess it is. Yeah, we'll settle with that one. Let's see. Yes, I do know who Andrew Tate is, and I despise that man and everything he stands for and the harm he's doing to the world, especially to young men and boys who's being led down a very harmful path. That's bad news for everyone. He's scum, but sadly very influential scum. And yeah, that's a very skewed, messed up way of looking at masculinity. And yeah, I don't even say about it. He's a crook. He's scum. Awful. Andrew Tate can go and fuck himself to death. Biggest culture shock I've had in a different country. Going to India, just the streets were full, always, 24/7, in a way that you're not used to here. Loved it, though. What instruments do I play? Well, string instruments, guitar, bass, ukulele, everything a little bit. I'm not great at any of it, but I use it to write. I use it for campfire songs. I play it, but not great. Piano, trombone, sing, little drums. Could never play drums in a band properly, keep time like that, but I do know how to play a beat, just not well. Okay, let's find, if we can find a last question, because I'm going to check out now, because it's been an hour. Let's see. I did not start Avatar, so John did when he met Jonas. Is Henrik a vampire? Yes. Which is weird that he tans so well. Maybe that's it. He tans so quickly because he's slowly turning to ashes and just know when to stop in time. Come on, give me one last good question. When I was a kid, what did I want to be when I grew up? Music came into place very early on. But before that, I wanted to bake pizzas for a living at some point. I thought it looked like fun when we went to get pizzas. Okay, that was the amazing last question, I guess. Yeah. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna call it, guys. Thank you for showing interest in me and the band. It always blows my mind more than you can imagine. The fact that, that people like what we do was one thing. That people are interested at all is crazy. Blows my mind. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the interest. Thank you everyone who came to the shows around Europe, and we still include UK in Europe. Miss you guys, and very much look forward to these US shows, and look forward to the festivals this summer. And remember again the Veep stream when we play in LA, May 4th, VEEP. Google that, you'll find some way of seeing that show being streamed live somehow. I don't know how it works, I just sing. And then we'll be in Australia for the first time in August. Tickets should be out soon, I guess. And yeah, and then we're gonna do more tours until we don't, and then we make a new album. But that's a story for another day. So thank you everyone for all your support, all your interest, blah 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 blah. Be good to yourself, take care of each other, and thank you for bringing so much meaning to what we do by having mean something to you. See you on the road. Bye. If I manage to stop the stream, let's see. That way, no. That way, no. That way, no. There. Bye.